video, part 2 of Google Sites, we're going to move into some of the more advanced options. So I'm going to go into my existing Google site, which I have renamed Exciting Test Site. And I'm going to look to the right-hand side in the insert options and go through a few of the options at the bottom where we can insert things like collapsible text, image carousel, etc. So the first thing I'm going to do is try the collapsible text. And what that does is brings up a text box and gives me the option to make it collapsible. What that means is if you have a huge block of text and you don't want it to take up your whole page, you could just put an introduction about what you're talking about. Introduction to CAD in textiles, and then a little teaser. CAD is an integral, and then that's the sort of teaser part. And then down here, there could be a larger block of text, which I'm just going to copy from a random website and bring in here. Oops. Sorry, thought I had copied that. And I'm going to bring that in here. And then when I have that, I have the text that I have in the top part is the part that you see on the site. And then the rest of it appears when you click on that initial line. So collapsible text comes with, I'll do that again, 2 lines. One for the information you always see, and then the second section for the rest of the information. So it's a good space saver, and you can resize this box just like any other regular text. So I'm going to take that away for now, possibly forever, and move to the image carousel. So an image carousel allows me to bring in a little slideshow. Instead of making Google Slides, I can just make a mini slideshow in the site that's sort of a standalone. You bring in a few images, it has to have at least 2, insert it. You can move this box along with the guides like other layout options. And you can see at the bottom here that there are little dots that tell you how many images are in here. In order to set the options for this, you would go into the carousel and actually set it to an auto view or a manual view. So for me, I'm going to go to the image carousel. Here is where you would set the settings to be auto start, etc. It's a little bit confusing because you can't actually see it in action until you test your site. So testing the site would happen here, and you can see that there is an image carousel that has options to move through it or an auto start, and mine's on a bit of delay. While I'm in this testing area, I can also see how it would look on a phone. You obviously have some issues here. Holding the tablet, desktop, and then there's an option here to send feedback about the site. That would be if you were working for a client. So I'm going to go back into the layout and go to the next option. I'm going to delete that, which is adding a button. Now, what would a button be? It might be where you say, email me, and then you would put a link in here to an email server. I'm not going to have an email server available, so I'm just going to hit a button that goes to a website. So you'll see how it works. So we have this here. We can move it around. We can test the site. Click on email me, and as I said, it's redirecting me to a website because I didn't have an email link set up. So we're going to get out of there and go back to the editing platform. So again, I can delete that. I'm not going to add YouTube or the calendar or the map right now. but I'm going to go to slides because that'll work the same way docs, sheets, forms, and charts work. If you have a Google slideshow and you want to embed it into your site, you can just click on slides and bring your test site that I made here into this environment and resize it or change the placement of it. I can add text to it. So it's bringing in the actual slideshow. The nice thing about this is if I change the slideshow in my drive, it will update it on the site. Be careful with that because maybe you don't want it to be updated, so be careful to adjust your duplicate file instead of the original if you're making changes that you don't want to be visible. So again, I'm going to test this, and this will show me the Google slideshow where I can actually play the slideshow, and it has auto settings on time in the actual Google Slides. So this is a nice way of featuring a slideshow that you could also do through the image carousel. Okay, I'm going to stop that. And the only other thing that I really want to cover in this tutorial is how to add pages. So this may be my cover page. I'm going to add that here, and I'm going to change the image in the background to something, upload an image in the background to something a little bit squarer so that it fills the space better. And I'm going to add a second page. So a second page might be a section on my concept, or it might be a section on one of my classes. If I go to the Pages tab here, I can certainly go down here and add a second page, but I can also go to these three dots and add a sub page. That means that it's within the home page. I have to be at the home page in order to access the sub page. So the sub page might be concept. In the advanced settings, you can have a custom path. As it is now, we're just going to do this home drop down concept. I'm going to add another sub page. Final work, whatever the name is. So you can see it's building a site here that I can access from the home page. I can also add a subpage to a subpage. So I'm going to say my final prints. So within each one of these, I can go to final work, and then, I can go to final work, and then within that, I can go to the final prints. You can see there are other options here as well, changing the properties, hiding from navigation, setting it as a home page, and deleting it. So there's a lot to explore there, and a lot of that I feel like you'll be comfortable with. I'm going to leave the tutorial there. I think that there's a lot that can be supplemented with Google searches. There's many sites that talk about how to customize things, and if you get a little confused, you can check it out on Google. The final thing that we want to talk about is publishing the site. So all you have to do to publish the site is click publish, and it's going to step you through, what's, for instance, I already published that part of it, and this is a new draft. So I published the old one, and now it's a question about whether or not I want to replace it with this newly edited one. And you can see up here it says there's changes, and I can go ahead and have the web address change. So I actually have a web address in here, so I'm going to publish it, and this is an opportunity for me to take another look at it and see how it's functioning. So I'm going to go into final work, and then within final work I can do final prints, and I have no information in there, so it's not showing me anything different, but it shows you how to navigate the site.